What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to Blazers Uprise Live here on a Thursday. It's the last day of basketball before the AllStar break. The Blazers are one of three teams playing today, and we're going to pick all three games and picks against the spread. First picks against the spread segment in quite a while. I think like a week and a half. We had the trade deadline, and then last Monday we didn't stream. There was like 13 games we missed out on. Me and Derek were very upset after Sunday. Luckily, those feelings have for today have subsided. Like, I was in a bad mood Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday because of the Niners loss, but today I'm doing better. Eric, how are you doing, man?
I'm okay. Yeah, it's never gonna get over that game, but we got to move on, right?
Yeah. At some point we got to move on, and we get to move on to Blazer basketball tonight, but then they are off until the following Friday. I'm looking forward to an all-star break, and in this stream, we're just going to give a state of the Blazers, like a State of the Union address, maybe a couple things regarding the channel, and then a couple things regarding the Blazers. And then, of course, we'll have a post-game show later tonight. That's going to be a special one because Rich is supposed to show up for that one. So we'll have a three-person stream. Might just be me and Rich to start, but I'm looking forward to that. And then tomorrow, I have a stream over on Bleacher Report. I have a Bleacher Report stream where it's just a short little 30-minute stream. I'll be grading the first halves for Blazers. It's more like the first two-thirds because the All-Star break is past halfway, but I'll be grading Blazers over on Bleacher Report. So I will tag everybody in the Discord. I'll tweet it when that link goes live, so just stay tuned. 11 a.m. tomorrow for that Bleacher Report stream. I'm hoping my internet has been better because the last couple of streams it's been very laggy, and I am kind of nervous about my internet for tomorrow, especially because it's an 11 a.m. stream, Eric. So I'm very nervous for that. So we'll see if my internet can hold up. But today is kind of a little test run for that. Maybe I'll have to go get a new modem or router finally in the morning. I don't know. We'll see. But that's coming up tomorrow, and And then Blazers Uprise Live next Monday, since there's no games, will be in the evening, like 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m., sometime around there. So that's like our off-season stream time for Blazers Uprise Live. Anything else to go through in the intro, Eric, before we hop into picks?
Well, real quick, if you're interested in 2 free 300 level tickets to the game tonight, hit me up on Discord or Twitter real quick.
Yeah, hit up Eric. You giving them away for free, huh?
Yeah, you want them?
No, I got wrecked tonight. I'm excited. It's we had our little 1.5 week off season. So, or no, what was it? No, it was longer than that. It was like a 2-week off season. Yeah, so I'm itching to play basketball. Looking forward to that tonight. You get to play tonight. You've decided to go play?
Yeah, my kids will just deal with it.
I respect it. Nice. Okay, let's jump into picks against the spread. Let's take a look at the standings. And speaking of respect, Eric, we can respect the standings a little bit more because we finally had a good day. There was like 6 streams in a row where we were collectively under 500. It was brutal slump. A lot of games where underdogs that were not picked, winning. There was really no rhyme or reason to it, but we were just all collectively in a slump. But 55 and 29 collectively last Monday. I don't know when the last time we did this was. But last time we did this, 55 and 29. Jackson, Eric, 7-0. Picked all 6 games right and his double down. So he's only 6 games back and forth.
Good job, Jackson.
Good job, Jackson. Eric, you're sitting there in 5th. A bunch of people went 5-2, including you, Chat, Steven, Zach, Connor, and Trevin. I went 4-3, so unfortunately I lost a game on Chat. And it was an under 500 day for Chase and Arrow on a day where everybody else went above 500. We've been picking the favorites a lot lately. That percentage of favorites picked is inching up. It's at 61.4%. But we've been much better picking underdogs. If you look at the records on the right, the total records at the bottom, much better picking underdogs so far this season. All right, Eric, the first of 3 games starts at 5:30. That's why we could start this stream a little bit later. And it's the Memphis Grizzlies, very shorthanded, hosting the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks are 14-point road favorites.
All right, in this one, we got Chris Middleton is the only one out for Milwaukee. For the Grizzlies, they are without Jaren Jackson Jr., Luke Kennard, John Concar, Scottie Pippen Jr., Derrick Rose, Desmond Bane, Marcus Smart, Brandon Clark, Jake LaRavia, and John Morant. Their starting lineup tonight is Jacob Gilyard, Vince Williams, Zaire Williams, Santi Aldama, and Trey Jemison.
It's funny stuff. By the way, all the spreads in this segment are brought to you by BetUS. Use the link in the description box below and use promo code JOIN125 for 3 deposit matches of 125%. They're giving you 3 now, which is an awesome deal. So if you want to get in on any of these games, if you feel confident, feel free to use that link to sign up in the promo code JOIN125. All right, Eric.
Jackson Trevin on the Bucks.
All right.
I have picks from Zach and Aeromancer. Aeromancer's on the Grizzlies. Zach is Bucks.
Okay, so Zach's Bucks, Arrow is Grizzlies.
Connor Bucks. Eric Bucks.
Okay. I hate this game. I'm just gonna go Bucks, I guess. Probably wrong. When we collectively pick the favorite on big spreads, I feel like we all do terribly, but I'm always scared not to. It's very strange.
Yeah.
Like Trey Jemison versus Giannis, who am I gonna take? You know? So, all right. Connor, you said was Bucks?
Yep.
All right. And then I got texts from everyone else. We got, let's see, Crushables is Crusha Bucks. We got Steven, who's Grizzlies. We got 503 is Bucks. And Chase is Bucks. Okay, I put Crushables for Chase, but it's fine because they were both Bucks. And then chat is Bucks. Percentages don't matter because we will vote on Double Down for chat. All right, game number 2. This game, you got Arrow and Steven on the Grizzlies. Everybody else, Bucks. Game number 2, we have the Utah Jazz hosting the Golden State Warriors, who lost last night to the Clippers. The Warriors are 2-point road favorites, though.
All right, in this one, we have Chris Paul is the only one out for the Warriors. Despite playing last night, it looks like everyone is going to play for the Warriors, but be wary, they might not play much. And for Utah, they don't have anyone hurt.
Nice. Simple, easy injury report.
Jackson is on the Jazz.
Jazzkin. All right. Goldens. So Jackson Jazz. Chase is Warriors.
Aeromancer is Warriors. Zach is Warriors.
Who else other than Zach did you say?
Aeromancer.
Okay, Arrows Warriors.
Trevin is Warriors.
I'm going Jazz. Crushables is Jazz. 503 is Jazz. Steven is Jazz. Who'd you go, Eric?
I'm going to go Warriors.
All right. And did Connor make his pick yet?
Connor's Warriors.
Connor's Warriors, and chat is Warriors. So, we got a 5v7 in favor of the Warriors. All right, final game. It is the Minnesota Timberwolves playing against your Portland Trail Blazers for the second game in a row. The Timberwolves won last game by 12. Tonight, they are a 10-point road favorite.
So for the Timberwolves, Jalen Clark is out for sure. Wendell Moore Jr. is questionable. Anthony Edwards, questionable. And it says, Edwards noted he was super close to not playing Tuesday when he scored 41 points. At the last second, I was like, I'm going to try it out because I wasn't going to go tonight.
And then dropped 41 on us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It says the Wolves have had a consistent or have consistently left players on subsequent injury reports after they played the previous game.
But do they play?
Yeah, I don't know. And then for the Blazers, Robert Williams, Moses Brown, Shaden Sharp, Malcolm Brogdon all out. Scoot Henderson is listed as probable.
This is not easy with Anthony Edwards being questionable. Because if he plays, I'd take Timberwolves.
They won by, 12 on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Timberwolves broadcast said when Edwards is listed as questionable, he might as well be listed as active. Repair is out, but yeah.
Blazers for Jackson.
The thing I'm looking at probably didn't see he got recalled.
Waiting on the rest of the picks.
All right, Aeromancer is Timberwolves. Zach is Blazers.
All right. This looks like it's going to go down to the wire with chat. We'll give chat like another minute.
My thinking is Portland has, in my mind, I don't know if this is true, but I feel like they always play well the game before the AllStar break and beat a lot of good teams that have checked out and are already ready for the break. I remember they beat the Golden State Warriors a couple years ago.
So you're going Blazers.
Yeah.
You're making me second guess my pick, but I'm not going to change it. Trevin is Wolves. I need the All-Star break. I just basically had an All-Star break in picks because we haven't done it in a while, but I need another All-Star break. Chat is Wolves. Connor is Wolves.
The Blazers money line at plus 390 isn't a bad bet.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting money line. Over under 215. If they don't have Anthony Edwards, I would smash that under. Smash it. This is a split vote, which is interesting. Okay, time for double downs. Let me erase these picks, and we'll do a poll for chat. So chat's 3 picks were... Let me scroll back in the stream to see. They had Milwaukee minus 14 at Memphis. They had Golden State minus 2 at Utah.
Their last two were really close.
And they had Minnesota minus 10 at Portland. All right, chat, there's your double down poll. I don't like any of my picks, Eric.
I don't either. I'm going to go down on the Bucks.
That's what I was thinking about.
Save me, Dame.
Yeah, yikes. We got Warriors for Connor, Warriors for Trevin.
Oh, Zach's is the Blazers.
Okay.
Aeromancers is the Warriors.
All right. Chase was Warriors. I'm going to go... I'm going to make my pick last. Steven is... I got Crush here. Crush is Bucks. Bucks with you. 503 went Jazz. Steven went Jazz. What was Jackson's pick?
Jackson's Jazz.
Okay, we getting some Jazz at the end here. I'm going to go Bucks with you. I don't trust in Trey Jemison. All right, and then chat is Golden State. I'm glad I got a different pick than chat. I picked Utah too, so this could be interesting here at the top, even though there's only 3 games. All right, so we got me, Eric, Crushables, 3 people on Bucks. Jackson 503, Steven, that's 3 people on the Jazz. You got Zach by himself on the Blazers, and then 5 people, the other 5 people, on the Warriors. Does chat count as a people, though?
Yes.
Other 5 participants. Yeah, count as the Warriors. All right, that's Picks Against the Spread. Thank you for participating. Next segment for Picks Against the Spread, I believe, will be next Thursdays when they come back from the AllStar break. Yeah, February 22nd. They come back from the AllStar break with a whopping 12 games, Eric. And the Blazers aren't one of those games. So 12 games for Picks Against the Spread. We're going to hit the ground running out of the AllStar break. So you guys better be ready. We'll see how things go today. All right. So I just want to do a quick State of the Union. I want to talk a little bit about where the Blazers are at, like kind of summarize the first half briefly. The first half of the season, it's 53 games or whatever. The first 60% of the season. And maybe we can do that on Thursday's stream where we look at like what the next Thursday I want to do what the rest of the season means to the Blazers, what they need to find out, what are some goals for the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. Today I want to kind of recap things. So yeah, this team is playing well right now, Eric. Okay, maybe not well, but better. They're not losing games by 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 points against good teams. They were competitive on the road against Denver. They were competitive against Minnesota. They're still losing a bunch of games, but it's not where we're questioning effort like we had to at the start of the year during that road trip in January, so that's good. They just struggle shooting the ball, and that's something where a lot of the young guys the second half of the season I'm going to be focused on. Can they knock down threes? But it's tough because they've struggled scoring the ball. They've struggled scoring more than 110 points. When they can score the ball, they can win. They did it against Houston when they won an OT. They did it against Philadelphia. They did it against Milwaukee, put 119 on the board against them. But that's their last win. Defensively, lately, I don't know. They've just been kind of mediocre on both ends, but that means competitive in a way. Like, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't mean that as an insult. Where do you feel like this team is at right now? Because it's kind of, they're not winning games going into the All-Star break like they did when they traded for Josh Hart, but they're still playing better than they have for, I feel like, the majority of this year.
Yeah, I just say okay.
Yeah.
Not good. They're not terrible. It's kind of a question whether. It's always fun to win games, but is it really best for them right now, especially with the way the Hornets have been playing lately? Yeah. So good, competitive, fun games, but losing in the end might be what's overall best for this team, in my opinion.
Yeah, because this team has a legitimate shot to jump into fourth place in lottery odds. If they lose this game tonight, they'll be 2 games out from Charlotte, who has won 3 in a row. Brandon Miller's playing great. LaMelo Ball has been playing some. He got hurt earlier in the season. He's back. They have some decent pieces there. Like, I could see them winning some games after the All-Star break. One of those games, the Blazers play at home on the 25th against Charlotte. That game could be crucial. So we're kind of getting to the point where we're rooting for losses. I haven't, openly rooted for a loss all year. But after the All-Star break, especially that game against Charlotte, that's when we start to look at the tank race. Obviously, there's no Victor Wembanyama prize at the top of the draft. The top of the draft is questionable, but Alex Sarr is mine and yours. He's our clear-cut number 1 on the board, and I think he would solve a lot of problems for this Blazer team and create a lot of intrigue going into next season with lineups. So I want that guy. It's not a lock he goes number 1, so even if we don't move up to number 1, right now we have a 10.5% chance. At 4th, we have a 12.5% chance. Still, our odds of moving into the top 4 rise 6% going up to 4. So if you can get into 2 and San Antonio's 1, maybe they take top itch, right? You got some questionable things at the top of the draft, so being able to move up a slot would be huge. It's basically, in my opinion, going to be impossible to get up to 3 because I just don't think San Antonio's going to win enough. Mm-hmm. But they do have Wemby, so maybe. But it's that 4-5 slot that I'm really keyed in on, and unfortunately, it's probably going to be more rooting for losing, but that's part of rebuilding.
Mm-hmm. And some breaking news, according to Chat and Underdog, looks like Scoot is playing and starting.
I like that. I like that. So what do you think the Blazers should do with their lineup after the All-Star break?
Well, I do think they should limit how much some of the vets play. Brogdon's limiting himself by being hurt, I guess. I don't think you should play Grant 40-some minutes. I think you should give Chris Murray some legit run. Jabari Walker has earned some minutes as well. Tamani, of course, I'd like to see him continue to develop. So, but Chris in particular, it's what are we doing with him, right? Did we get him to be a career backup or 8th or 9th rotation guy? Or are we going to give him a legit chance at making an impact at some point? And, just this year isn't a definitive statement or anything, but I feel like he's a refined enough player to where you can kind of tell that if you just give him some runway and let him play a little bit, whether he's could be anything in the future, just kind of like Jabari Walker last year.
Yeah, 100%. I think the biggest thing is, obviously once they start tanking, then you don't really even have to worry about what the lineup is. You're just going to play the young guys, sit, maybe Ant, maybe Grant, maybe Brogdon, right? Those guys probably aren't going to play if we're hardcore tanking like the last couple of years. But until then, I'm at the point where I am ready to start Scoot again. I wanted to start him before the season. He struggled at the start of the season in the starting role and then started being brought off the bench. I thought that was the right decision because he struggled a little bit more than we expected to in the starting lineup. But he's been playing much better lately, and there's 2 things I think starting him accomplishes. 2 things that you can find out even if he struggles, right? Because everybody just views, should we start Scoot on, is he going to struggle more or not? Which, struggles aren't even necessarily bad if you can learn from them, and if you don't lose your confidence, and if they don't snowball into just really bad play, okay? But 2, you can find out 2 things from this, Eric. The 2 things you can find out is, 1, Can he and Anthony Simons build some chemistry next to each other? Because with their injuries so far this year, they haven't been able to play together as much. And then with Scoot coming off the bench, he plays a little bit with Anthony every game. But I would like to see him start to play more next to Anthony on a consistent basis, a consistent enough basis to build some chemistry, right? And just how do those two guys look together starting for like a 10-game stretch after the All-Star break? I actually would want them to bring Malcolm Brogdon off the bench. You play Brogdon because, Sharp's hurt, so you can still play Brogdon before you start tanking. But bring Brogdon off the bench, see how he handles that, okay, and then move from there and just find out if he and Ant can build chemistry. But the second thing is, and I talked about this on the last postgame show, we've seen Scoot build a rhythm in the first half and then lose that rhythm in the second half, and he's only playing one stint a half. So I want to start Scoot to see how he maintains a rhythm over playing at the start of the first quarter and then at the end of the second quarter, and then at the start of the third quarter and the end of the fourth quarter. That's 2 stints a half compared to just one. The minutes are a little bit different. How does he maintain a rhythm throughout a game? Because I feel like he's been consistent in terms of coming out of the gates hot at the start of games, when he gets subbed in off the bench in the middle of the first quarter, but he hasn't maintained that in the second half. So what does it look like? What does his rhythm look like if his minutes are switched around and he's playing a different, schedule of minutes? I want to see what that looks like, and I want to find out, if he can, maintain a rhythm throughout a game playing twice a half instead of just one 10 to 12 minute stretch. I also think it might help him stay a little bit fresher, and there's not as much of a layoff at halftime, because right now he gets subbed out, like 5 minutes left in the second quarter, whatever. He's not playing until 6 minutes left in the third, right? So not only are you sitting out halftime, you're sitting out the final 5 minutes of the second quarter, you're sitting out the first 6 minutes of the third quarter. That's a long time, and I feel like that might contribute to him losing a little bit of rhythm. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I don't know what the answer is, but if you're ending the first half and then starting the second half, that's a lot less time to sit. Can he maintain a rhythm from the first half to a second half better if he's starting and therefore finishing halves? I don't know, but I'm curious to see. And with him starting tonight, that's something to watch for in this game tonight.
Yeah, and that just by pure volume, coming back in the game 3 times a game versus just once when you only play one stint each half, that gives you 3 more opportunities to learn how to come back in the game and start impacting the game than you did in your first stint. So that alone, I think, will give him more opportunities to do that. But your first point, or your number one thing, was what my most important thing is, and that's just they need as much time playing together, Scoot and Anthony, as possible. They need to figure things out. I don't care if they struggle or whatever. They just need to get as much time learning about each other and how to play with each other as possible.
Yep, 100%.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll do a little state of the channel too. So obviously, like post-game shows, still going to be doing them every game. It's going to be a little rough as this team continues to lose. It's going to be rough when they tank. And after the All-Star break, I just want to experiment with different new segments, different new things on post-game shows, and just use it as something to maybe help figure out new fun things to implement next season that don't take away from post-game shows, right? Like, me and Eric have always done a pretty unstructured post-game show. I think the final, 28 games after the All-Star break, I want to start experimenting with new segments and just trying to, make each stream a little bit more unique, give you guys something to look forward to. Like, each stream, you don't know what I'm going to implement, and then just figure out, what we want to keep, what we don't like. So I might even be asking you guys for some suggestions on Twitter, on Discord. But that is kind of my mindset over the final 28 games of the season. That'll help make post-game streams, I think, a little bit more fun. So this All-Star break, that's what I'm going to work on, kind of building out some ideas, maybe some templates, that sort of thing, to be able to experiment with different stuff on post-game shows, the final 28 games of the season. So, I don't know if you heard anything I said.
Yeah, you want segments to make it.
Yeah, I just want to experiment with stuff. I think it'd be a good idea. So
my wife was leaving for work. Had to say bye. Sorry.
I respect that. Taylor Packer says, I like it. You're trying to break up the monotony a bit. I feel that, yeah, and it gets monotonous. Like, when this team is losing, it gets monotonous. If this team was winning, it wouldn't, because we've had really fun post-game shows throughout a year when the team's at least, like, pushing for a playoff spot, right? Where we're looking at the standings every game. We're looking around the NBA at scores and how they affect us and, you know, talking about them improving on X's and O's. It's just different in rebuilding years, so might as well experiment with things. It's kind of like the team, Eric. The team should experiment with stuff over the final 28 games of the season. And they should try and learn stuff for next season. Just like I'm talking about doing with the channel. The team should do. And that's why I like them starting Scoot next to Ant, seeing if they can build chemistry, seeing how they play together with more minutes together.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Mason Wright says, I'm joining, but have they talked about how Chauncey said that Scoot will be starting the rest of the season? Did Chauncey actually say that?
I like it if that's the case. He needs to be starting, so.
Yeah. Do you... Oh, Underdog, lineup alert. Scoot Henderson expected to start the rest of the season.
Let's go.
Per Coach Billups. All right. Okay. I like it. 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 See, I was worried that they were getting to the point where they were coddling him a little too much.
Yeah.
Especially, like, if he was still struggling, I get it. But he's been playing so good that give him the opportunity to grow, you know? Mm-hmm. I think he's earned a bigger role, and he's going to struggle. There's going to be games where he's going to have a rough game, and people are going to say, see, this is why he shouldn't start, and, you know, there'll be 1-2 game anecdotal takeaways, but at this point, I think he's capable of bouncing back from struggles. I think he's capable of bouncing back from bad games by following it up with a better game, with a solid game, right? So I don't think his
confidence too.
Yeah, and I don't think he should be coddled to the point where it's like, oh, one bad game, he can't start. He's not, he's not ready at all. Like, I don't think that should be the mindset. I was worried that was the mindset. I'm actually very happy that doesn't seem to be the mindset, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
This is the best news we've gotten in a while, in my opinion. So exciting.
Yeah, it sounds like Chauncey wanted him to earn it. And he has, and he said he's proud of him, according to Jonathan Evers. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so they bring Brogdon off the bench. That's literally what I was just saying I wanted them to do. Mm-hmm. So I'm very happy about that. Who knows how much longer Brogdon sits out, but cool, man. Cool. So starting tonight, we'll see how he plays tonight in a starting role, but that's going to be a storyline over the final 28 games. Do you have any other thoughts on that? Chat, how much do you like that? I see a lot of dubs in chat, so I think chat likes it. That's great.
Honestly, the first thing I thought of is, why did it take this long?
Yeah.
But better late than never, right? And one thing...
Sorry, go ahead.
Tommy said, hopefully they don't set Ant. He ain't a bet. One thing that I am kind of worried about with Anthony... He's sat the last 2 seasons. If you sit him again at the end of a 3rd season for any sort of stretch of tanking, I don't know. To me, I don't think it really matters as much this year. Yes, it would be cool to get 4 instead of 5, and if it comes down to the last couple games, sure, go for it. But I do really think that a percentage odds in the standings for the lottery are not as important as Scoot and Anthony learning how to play together as much as possible. So I'm going to hopefully be rooting for Anthony playing the whole season and not just them sitting out Anthony again so they can lose games.
Yeah, I fully get that. You can sit out other guys. Grant, Ayton has never tanked other than maybe his rookie year. I don't know. I don't think he's sat. Brogdon, right? Like, you can sit those guys. And that'll give you can kind of soft tank in a way. Not as hardcore as previous seasons, but soft tank while still playing Ant and Scoot together and seeing if they can build chemistry and confidence together. Jonathan Evers has quotes from Chauncey regarding starting Scoot the rest of the season. So shout out to Jonathan. So Chauncey said He deserves starting. He's playing really well. I've got to develop him, but I've got to protect him too. When I put him on the bench, he was just playing with too much pressure. Now he's playing so well, and I want him to earn everything, and I'm proud of him. Good job, Chauncey. Good job. Because I absolutely agree that there was a little too much pressure on Scoot starting at the start of the season, trying to replace Dame. I wanted him to start. I wanted him throwing him into the fire and see if he could handle it. He showed that at the start of the season, he could not. So bringing him off the bench made sense. But yes, 100%. Absolutely agree with Chauncey. It's weird agreeing with Chauncey like this and being happy with the Chauncey quote like this because he has developed to the point where, yes, he has earned more opportunity and, it is a balance between developing him and protecting him. And right now, I don't think you have to protect him by bringing him off the bench. You can continue to develop him better in the starting lineup. So I love Chauncey's quote on that.
At the same time, we wanted Sharp to start at the beginning of the year too, and not Thibault, and that didn't happen. But
yeah, but that's a separate conversation. I'm just gonna be happy with Chauncey for once. And
I'm just saying, like, I was hoping to see the three of them play a lot more than they did. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen anymore because of Sharp's injury. But so that's going to have to wait till next year. But yeah, just Scoot and Anthony play together as many minutes as possible.
Yep. So we got some things to look forward to after the All-Star break.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have a post-game show tonight. We'll talk about it more. Rich will be there. That'll probably be a little bit longer of a post-game show, maybe 2.5 hours. I don't know. I don't know how much you can, how long you want to go. But given that it's the last post-game stream before the All-Star break and Rich will be on it, it should be a fun stream.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. And, Rising Stars game is tomorrow, so Scoot's going to be playing in that. Actually, it's like multiple games because there's 4 teams. I got the Bleacher Report stream tomorrow, 11 a.m. I'm streaming on Bleacher Report. So check out our Discord. I will tag everybody in our Discord when I go live with that. Also, I will tweet it out, so you can follow us on Twitter. Links in the description box below if you want to tune in for that Bleacher Report stream tomorrow. I'll be grading Blazer players for the first part of the season. Or you can just go to the Blazers page on Bleacher Report. So that should be fun. My first time doing that. And, looking, man, I feel better about this team all of a sudden, Eric. Just makes
that gave you a jolt of
I'm feeling pretty good now. So
nice.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Anything else for this stream?
No one has claimed 2 free 300 level tickets tonight if you want them.
Yeah. If you guys want to go see Scoot start, hit up Eric. He's giving away 2 300 level tickets. So hit him up if you want them. And that's going to be a wrap, Eric.
Thanks, everyone, for watching. Have a good night.
Yep, appreciate you guys tuning in to this edition of Blazers Uprise Live. Look forward to the post-game show tonight. And look forward to watching Scoot cook. Anyway, we'll catch you later. And until next time, as always, peace out.